Good morning. Today's topic is the structure and functions of an ecosystem. This is in the fifth semester elective paper. In this in this topic, we will discuss about the introduction of an ecosystem, the ecosystem definition, structure of an ecosystem, and functions of an ecosystem, productivity, decomposition, energy flow, and nutrient cycling, the classification of ecosystems, certain descriptions of certain ecosystems like forest ecosystem, grassland ecosystem, and also pond ecosystem. So coming to the introduction of ecosystem, the term ecosystem was proposed by a scientist by name A.G. Tansley in the year 1953. This ecosystem is nothing but a system where the abiotic and abiotic factors are interacting to maintain the balance in an ecosystem. It's a community. Its ecosystem is a community along with its physical environment has a living biotic components and non-living abiotic components. So this ecosystem consists of eco-environment and system interaction. So coming to the definition of an ecosystem, according to E.P. Odum, a famous ecologist, American ecologist, the ecosystem is the basic functional and structural unit of an environment or organism and their environment, where they interact with each other and with their one component. So there are certain ecosystems, grassland ecosystem, forest ecosystem, the aquarium is artificial ecosystem, the pond, lake, river and oceans. So in the structure of an ecosystem, broadly there are two types of components. One is abiotic components or abiotic factors, which includes the environment, where the very important things are water, temperature, light. So these things are they form the environment of the ecosystem, and the biotic factors or biotic components are the living organisms, where they may be producers or consumers. In a typical ecosystem, in a typical ecosystem, the biotic factors are mostly the organic matter, living things, blue crabs, zooplanktons, phytoplanktons, and jellyfishes, where the abiotic factors are mostly climatic factors. They are non-living. Especially the very important thing is sunlight, temperature, and nutrient enrichment, humidity and the soil nature. All these things come under the abiotic factors which influence an ecosystem. Coming to the functions of an ecosystem, the components of an ecosystem are they function as unit when we consider the following aspects. So they have the productivity, decomposition, energy flow, and nutrient cycling. So the productivity of an ecosystem is the rate at which the solar energy is fixed by the vegetation of the particular ecosystem. It is further classified into primary productivity and secondary productivity and net productivity. So other components are, the functions are decomposition. So this is very important to maintain the environment free of pollution. So the breakdown of complex organisms of dead decaying organic substances are after the death of an organism, by which the nutrients are recycled, or they are again they are transferred into the soil from where they absorb. So these decomposition steps in decomposition involves the fragmentation, leaching and catabolism, humification and mineralization. So finally, whatever it may be that is destroyed or decomposed, finally it becomes into particular minerals are released which are present in the structure of the plant or animal body. So this process is called mineralization. Coming to the energy flow in the ecosystem, the flow of energy is one way directional, that is unidirectional movement of energy is present from the producer to the consumer. So there won't be any change in it. So from producer to consumer the energy will be reducing. So it is reduced because from the producer in the producer the more energy is present, from which the consumers are absorbed. So after absorbing the energy from the producer, they utilize certain amount of energy to survive, and from these another organisms they absorb. So it grows in a unidirectional way. Finally the total energy becomes less. However, a part of the energy is lost as heat, agrees with the phenomena of second law of thermodynamics. So the nutrient cycles, that is the nutrients which are essential for the growth of the plant, they will be recycled from the soil into the organism, from there to the atmosphere, again from the atmosphere into the soil. So this is the cyclic movement of the nutrients which are essential for the organism to grow. So this type of cycles, nutrient cycle, they maintain the balance or equilibrium of the particular element or nutrient in the atmosphere. Coming to the classification of an ecosystem, there are natural ecosystems and artificial ecosystems. In the artificial ecosystems, mainly the cropland ecosystem, where we sow the seeds of particular crop and grow that forms the cropland ecosystem. Whereas the natural ecosystems may be terrestrial or aquatic, which are present on the land are called terrestrial ecosystems. So example for this is forest ecosystem, grassland ecosystem, desert, and aquatic ecosystems are two types: pond ecosystem and ocean ecosystems, and estuaries. So forest as an ecosystem, this forest is the best example of terrestrial ecosystem. Like other ecosystems, the main components of forest ecosystem are in fact every ecosystem is having two components only, abiotic components and biotic components. But in a particular ecosystem the components may vary, the species and the biotic components may vary, but the abiotic factors they remain the same. In the forest ecosystem, soil, moisture, air, sunlight form the biotic or physical components which influences the forest ecosystem. The biotic components are the important class of biotic components are producers, consumers, decomposers, or they can be called as transformers. So the coming to the producers, all the green plants of a forest are the main source of food. So all the for the all the animals, there are several layers of vegetation in the forest in different layers. The plants of top stream the stratus are angiospermous and gymnospermous trees. These plants they utilize radiant energy of sunlight. They form the producers of particular producers of particular ecosystem. So first in the forest ecosystem, the producers are the tall trees, maybe angiosperms or gymnosperms. They utilize the energy and they perform photosynthesis and they store the food material. There is another layer of shrubs which consume light energy of low intensity coming through the trees. So and just below the shrubs there are grasses, herbs, lichens and other mosses. These also manufacture food. These plants get the least light because in the forest region the tall trees they cover the total area. The plants which are present as shrubs, herbs and lichens and the small masses, they absorb a less amount of energy due to the shading of the trees. So the main producers are the trees only in the forest. The primary consume next comes the trophic level, the consumer level. So there are herbivores. Consumers are the ones which depend on the plant for their food. They may be in the dense forest. The consumers of first order in the forest are grasshoppers, rabbit, deer, monkey, birds, and many other wild herbivorous animals which utilizes energy directly from the trees. The animals which are utilizing the producers as their food are called primary consumers. So they include grasshoppers, rabbit, deer, and monkey. uh, the animals which utilize these herbivores are called secondary consumers, and later the tertiary consumers. The secondary consumers are wolves, pythons, jackals, which consume the flesh of herbivores. The lion, tiger, hawks are the consumers of in the forest, the tertiary consumers. So in the forest, there are microorganisms which decompose the dead, decaying, or waste plant materials, and which are after the death and decay of these ones, the minerals are released into the soil. So they break down the complex organic compounds which are present in the body of the plants and animals, and they simplify the inorganic compounds, and they separate the free elements and return it to the soil, and are reutilized by the producers in the process of nutrition. That is, this is the forest ecosystem, the diagram which represents this one. Then comes the another terrestrial ecosystem, grassland ecosystem, which includes all types of grasses. These grassland occupy about 19% of the total earth surface. That is, the grassland ecosystem is occurring, it occupies about 19%. The major grassland ecosystem of the world are Great Plains of Canada and United States. So Argentina to Brazil and South Africa to Central Asia, the various components of grassland systems are as follows. So they have the same abiotic and biotic components. The abiotic components are nutrients present in the soil and the environment present in the grassland area, and the elements which are essential for the growth of the particular grass varieties, including water. So the biotic components of the grassland ecosystem include grasses like Dichanthium, Cynodon, Desmodium, Digitaria, Dactylocitinium, and Ceteria italica as producers. So these are the grass varieties which absorb light energy and produces the food material. There are some animals like a cow, buffaloes, deer, sheep, mouse, and many insects. They consume these small grass plants. There are fungi or mucor, fungi like mucor, aspergillus, etc., penicillium and cladosporium fusarium as the decomposers in the grassland ecosystem. So there are mainly grasses of the family Graminae, a large variety of herbs, some shrubs, and scattered trees are they act as producers. Herbivores such as grazing mammals, they act as primary consumers. Insects, some termites and millipedes, and the primary consumers. The animals like fox, jackals, lizard, birds, etc. are carnivores, that is secondary consumers, feeding on the herbivores. There are the secondary consumers of the grassland ecosystem. Hawks occupy the tertiary consumers as they feed on the secondary consumers. So the tertiary consumers are called purely carnivorous. The primary consumers are herbivores. The secondary consumers maybe they sometimes eat the producers, or sometimes they eat the herbivores. So they can be called as omnivores. So these decomposers which are present in the grassland ecosystem may be bacteria. So these bacteria which are present in the soil, they bring up the breakdown of the dead decaying organic matter. So for example, some fungi and some saprophytic fungi as well as saprophytic bacteria, they destroy or decompose the body of the dead decaying body of the plant or animal, and these elements which are present in the plant body or animal body are liberated into this soil for further recycling. So coming to the very important example of this pond ecosystem. So this is example for aquatic ecosystem, which is again this pond ecosystem is also having the it pond ecosystem is a abiotic components and biotic components. In this pond ecosystem, the abiotic components include uh, the amount of water, the quality of water, rate of rainfall, temperature, light, pH of the water, oxygen, carbon dioxide percentage, oxygen percentage, and inorganic elements as well as organic substances. They constitute the abiotic components. The biotic factors include the producers, the living organisms. Here the producers may be again are classified into macro producers and micro producers depending upon the size of the body. So next comes the trophic level consumers, the primary consumers, secondary consumers and tertiary consumers. So lastly, the one is the decomposer. So the biotic factors which include the macro producers and micro producers. So the macro producers which are present in the pond ecosystem are free floating or submerged water plants. So again they are divided into the following types. Sometimes the submerged water plants are for example Hydrilla, Vallisneria, Cara and Ceratophyllum. There are another type, sometimes they may be fixed at the base of the pond and they float on the surface. The leaf part floats on the surface. Example Nilambo nymphia, Victoria regia. Some plants they float on the surface freely. They are called Lemna, Pistia, Iconia. So some plants are in the ecosystem are amphibious in nature. They are present at the banks of the or edges of the pond. For example, Typha limnophila. There are another type of producers called micro producers. They are also called phytoplanktons. They are very small in size. They are present in more number in the pond ecosystem. So all these they constitute the producer level of trophic level of this pond ecosystem. Then comes the next trophic level, the primary consumer level. There are herbivorous plants which are micro or macro organisms. So these primary consumers are nothing but the small organisms which depend on the producer for their food. So they again are classified in the pond ecosystem as newstons, nectons, zooplanktons, periphytons and benthos. Newstons are the animals. They live on the surface of the water. For example, mosquito larvae of some insects. Nectons are the organisms which swim freely on the water. They are called small fishes. Zooplanktons they float on the water surface, or they eat on they feed on they use the phytoplanktons as their food. Example amoeba and paramecium. Then periphytons, they grow attached with the stem and leaves of plant. In some water plants, some insects, some animals are attached. So they absorb the food material from those leaves or stems of the particular plants. Hydra, leech, and benthos are the organisms which live in mud underneath the pond. They are, for example, this is mollusca is the best example for it. So in the biotic factors, there is one more trophic level, the secondary consumer. The secondary consumers are the animals or organisms which depend on the primary consumers for their food. So in the pond ecosystem, they include frogs, water bodies, water birds, and the tertiary consumers are nothing but the organisms which depend on the secondary consumers and the primary consumers for their food. So they depend on secondary consumer for their food. They include large fishes, birds, and snakes. In the pond ecosystem, there is another trophic law, that is decomposer level. They decompose the dead body of the producers and consumers and release the minerals into the atmosphere. They include the saprophytic fungus as well as this saprophytic bacteria. So this is about the structure and the functions of uh, an ecosystem. Thank you.